Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We continue to get you live coverage of the disastrous and horrific aircraft crash which happened near Ahmedabad airport this afternoon. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner bound for London with 242 people on board went down near Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. Ahmedabad CP has confirmed that one survivor has been found miraculously and is currently undergoing treatment. And so far, we're given to understand that over 200 bodies have been recovered so far from the crash site. But let's take a look at the top developments, the latest developments that are happening in this case before we go on and get a live guest to join us. What really happened and what is the next course of action that investigation authorities are going to take? Well, Union Minister, unfortunately, C.R. Patil has confirmed the death of former Gujarat CM Vijay Rupani. DNA testing arrangements, meanwhile, have been made at the local BJ Medical College. In fact, Air India has said that it will operate 2 relief flights, one each from Delhi and Mumbai to Ahmedabad for the next of kin of passengers and crew members. Meanwhile, the Tata Group has issued a statement. It has said that it will provide 1 crore to the families of each persons who has lost their lives in fighting the in the flight crash. Meanwhile, the UK, we're given to understand, is working diligently with Indian counterparts following that plane crash that happened. Foreign Minister David Lammy has also tweeted. He's expressed condolences, and several other global leaders have also expressed condolences. Meanwhile, Ahmedabad Police Commissioner G.S. Malik has said that they've found 1 survivor miraculously in seat 11A. We will try and get you more details on that. But for the moment, let's shift our focus to this discussion that we are having. What should be the next course of action and who should the buck, more importantly, stop with? We're now joined by Air Commander B.S. Sivach, Director General Aviation Safety of India. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here on ET Now. Your first thoughts on what really transpired. The aircraft crashed immediately minutes after it took off. So prima facie, what really led to the crash and what led to the loss of the lift, given the fact that that's something that we noted from the visuals that we're getting, the visuals that were captured on CCTV, that the crash happened merely 50 seconds after takeoff happened.
Very shocking, terrible, catastrophic loss of very valuable lives. I, on behalf of Aviation Safety India, would like to convey our heartfelt condolences, and we pray to God for the speedy recovery of all those who are injured in this unfortunate accident. Now, in this particular case, the aircraft involved was Boeing 787 Dreamliner. This is one of the safest aircraft, one of the most modern, sophisticated aircraft. It has got a very good safety record. And till date, it must have flown millions of hours all around the world. Almost 1,200 aircraft of 787 Dreamliner are flying all around the world. This is the first serious accident where the aircraft has crashed. So this is very rare occurrence. Now what actually has happened is that the aircraft has come from Delhi to Ahmedabad. The aircraft was fully serviceable, fully airworthy. It landed at Ahmedabad, turned around, loaded passengers, and then took off from Ahmedabad. Now the pilots were very highly experienced, very good professionals who were commanding this aircraft. Captain had almost 8,200 till the aircraft took off from Ahmedabad airport. It had no problem. It took off. It was gaining height at about 400 odd feet. It suffered almost total power loss. And the captain showed his presence of mind under such trying condition when he was at such a low height and such a deadly emergency had taken place.
Yes, sir.
He transmitted Mayday. Mayday is that the aircraft and its passenger are
Yes.
serious threat to their safety. So this was
Yes.
transmitted. The pilot
Absolutely. He
lost
sent out
both,
that
appears to be
communication so
lost.
that, Mayday response was sent to the ground staff, sir. But let me come back to the question that I was asking you. You've shared your initial impressions of what really happened. And of course, you're trying to piece together the sequence of events. But once again, let me ask you, and we do not want to speculate at this point in time, given the fact that investigation is going to take place. But when you see the visuals, we are playing those visuals on the television screens for our viewers right now. But when you see the CCTV footage, what, according to you, could have happened? Was it related to, perhaps, the pilot not being able to establish a connection with the ground authorities, or was it some technical failure that really led to that? Because we're also given to understand that both the engines failed, which is rather unusual.
This accident had nothing to do with ground contact or something. Both the engines appear to have failed. Pilot had loss of power on both the engine. He was not able to continue to fly. Please remember, even if one engine had failed, the aircraft is capable of continuing to climb and it would have continued to fly and land safely at Ahmedabad airport. So it appears that the pilot had lost power on both the engines. And the most probable cause for this can be a bird strike. You know, Ahmedabad airport is notorious for bird strikes. It has got a lot of bird problem. So possibly there are bird hit, and this is also corroborated by the lone survivor who has said that he heard loud noise. The loud noise could be bird hit and engines, uh, flaming out. So that is the time the pilot transmitted to the air traffic control about serious emergency. He was totally helpless. He tried his best to avoid the buildings. Last, he hit one building, could not avoid it. He tried to reduce his speed as much as possible so that at the point of impact, the speed is minimum, which will ensure that there is a less damage to the aircraft and less loss of life. The pilot did his best. He maintained his cool and did not panic. We must commend the pilot, compliment the pilot for such wonderful response, such professional response to a very serious emergency. So you remember in one of the cases in US, one aircraft had hit birds and both engines flame out. You must have seen a movie called Sully. This was the Captain Sully, who was the commander of that aircraft. He had bird strike in both the engine had flamed out. But fortunately in this case, he had height with him. He had altitude. And he made a very safe landing in Hudson River. So in this particular case, of Ahmedabad crash, pilot had hardly any time. There was just around 400 odd feet. So there was hardly 20 to 30 seconds, or maybe even less. The aircraft descended, pilot tried his best, and unfortunately, this crash took place, and we had terrible loss of lives. Yes, please.
Right, sir. So that bird hit angle also being probed, or even though, sir, we've spoken to several other experts who've ruled out that angle completely. We leave it to the investigators to really probe what happened. But, sir, questions are also being asked that the plane might not have been properly configured. What exactly is plane configuration and how crucial is it for flight safety?
You see, the configuration is that the aircraft should have recommended takeoff load, which is maximum recommended. The loading of the aircraft should be as per the COV limits. All these are thoroughly checked before the aircraft starts rolling for the takeoff. Now this aircraft has taken off, so there are no problem with the aircraft. The aircraft was in the process of climb. At 400 odd feet, it lost its engine power. The pilot communicated to the flying control that he has got loss of engine power. And this loss of engine power, madam, can only be possible at such low levels because of bird strike. There can be no other reason which I can think of. Not possible. You can say that there was some from the fuel, not likely. There are some technical glitch leading to both engines. At the same time, that is also not really possible. This aircraft is known for its safety record. It has got very sophisticated engines. A lot of safety features have been incorporated in this aircraft. So there should be no fear about the safety of the aircraft. The aircraft is fully safe. Pilots were competent, qualified. Unfortunate things happened and it appeared to be bird hit. Maybe sabotage you also can rule out because sabotage means the aircraft would have exploded in mid-air. Then you can think of sabotage angle. In this also you can't totally rule out, but that generally to a professional mind it appears that it was not the likely cause. To my mind, most probable cause was bird hit, which caused the loss of engines and the power.
Right, sir. So you're suggesting that it was bird hit that really led to both the engines failing and eventually that crash happening. But definitely it's not just one reason that leads to a plane going down. Always a sequence of events which I'm sure that investigators will be probing into. But sir, when you talk about flight safety and aviation safety, now let me come to the point about Boeing, which has faced intense scrutiny earlier as well in the past. There have been several instances as well, and we've been talking about it, throughout this evening, and at least in 2 fatal crashes, the company paid a fine of more than $2 billion. So has Boeing, in your opinion, been prioritizing profits over safety? And will scrutiny intensify after this incident on the company?
Okay, definitely this aircraft had some teething problems, which most of the aircraft have. In the initial years, there are some teething problems. This aircraft had problem with its batteries, lithium batteries earlier, which was sorted out, rectified. Boeing, you see in the world, thousands of aircraft of Boeing company are flying with safety. Okay, it has got a tremendous safety record, but there have been some rumors, some talk that there have been some compromises on safety by Boeing. The Boeing company CEO has been pulled up by the Federal Aviation Administration, but that's part of the evolution of that particular aircraft. The aircraft at present is being flown by large number of airlines and one of the best airlines, some of the best airlines. It has logged more than 50 lakh flights, millions of flying hours. So its safety record is tremendous. But yes, this accident happened. It is going to put this Boeing company under a lot of scanner, and it's going to cause already their stocks have lost almost 8 to 9%. So it's going to have a very adverse impact on Boeing company. But you can't really say that this aircraft was unfit for flying or was unsafe for flying.
Right, sir.
That will be injustice to Boeing company.
Yes.
Which has got a tremendous safety record. Some aircraft have crashes.
Yes.
You're talking about 737 MAX. There are 2 crashes. So this was also resolved. Subsequently, something had gone wrong. Definitely it was wrong. But you see, it's a technology where sometimes you can fail. In spite of the best of the mind and best of the professionalism, competence, these things do happen. Mistakes are made. But in this particular case, you can't blame the Boeing for this crash. At present, at least what it appears, investigation will be able to establish the real cause. So we can't say for sure that this was the cause, but it appears that there was a loss of both the engines, and it may be attributed to most likely bird strike of course, it may be some other region, but chances of those regions is much less compared to bird strike.
Right. So, sir, you are pressing upon, that angle of bird strike that could have perhaps led to that crash really happening. But let me come to the point of investigations from here on. Now, very little remains of the aircraft. There is mostly wreckage. How difficult do you think it will be for flight data recorders for further investigation into the matter? And how long do you think agencies are going to take as far as investigation into the matter is concerned?
You see, the flight data recorder, that is black box, it records large number of parameters of the aircraft. When you download the data of this flight recorder, which as I'm told it has been already found and taken into custody, so this record large number of parameters, analysis will be carried out. It will become very clear that what was the condition of engines before the aircraft crashed. Why did it lose power? This will become abundantly clear from the flight recorder. Flight recorder gives you absolutely accurate information. Other than this, maybe speculation or assessments. But flight recorder gives you exact data. From that data, you can easily find out what actually went wrong.
Right, sir. Thank you very much for your inputs in helping us understand what could have perhaps transpired after that tragedy struck in Gujarat near Ahmedabad airport. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here on India Tonight. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, our deepest condolences go out to the families and loved ones of those who lost their lives in that devastating crash. And even as the country is mourning this immense loss, we stand in solidarity with the victims, their families, and all those affected by this heartbreaking tragedy. On that note, it's time's completely up on India Tonight, but we continue with our coverage of this heartbreaking tragedy on the other side of this short break on Business at 9.